In a blistering, unfiltered rant that has sent shockwaves through the international community, former President Donald Trump has just unleashed a torrent of accusations and revelations about the leaders of Guyana and Jamaica. The world watched in stunned silence as Trump, never one to mince words, took to the podium at a high-profile press conference, his tone more fiery and confrontational than ever before. With cameras flashing and reporters hanging on his every word, Trump began by addressing what he called the hidden truths about the political elite in these two Caribbean nations. He claimed that for far too long, the world has turned a blind eye to what he described as systemic corruption and backroom dealings at the highest levels of government in both Guyana and Jamaica. According to Trump, these issues have not only undermined the democratic process in these countries, but have also had far-reaching consequences for international relations and economic stability in the region. As the press conference continued, the atmosphere grew increasingly tense. Trump, clearly relishing the attention, began to lay out a series of detailed allegations, each more shocking than the last. He accused the leaders of Guyana and Jamaica of engaging in elaborate schemes to siphon public funds for personal gain, manipulating government contracts, and even colluding with foreign business interests to enrich themselves and their close associates. The truth that is now out, Trump insisted, is more damning than anyone could have imagined. He pointed to a series of leaked documents and anonymous whistleblower testimonies that, according to him, paint a picture of governments riddled with corruption, nepotism, and a blatant disregard for the rule of law. The media scrambled to verify these claims, while international observers expressed deep concern about the potential fallout from such explosive allegations. Trump didn't just attack their policies or criticize their leadership style, he went much further, launching into a scathing personal tirade against the very character of the leaders themselves. He accused them of betraying the trust of their people, of using their positions of power to silence dissent and suppress opposition voices. In his speech, Trump described heated debates and behind-the-scenes power struggles that have allegedly plagued the governments of Guyana and Jamaica for years. He painted a picture of political infighting, secret deals, and a culture of intimidation that, if true, would call into question the legitimacy of the current administrations. The international community, already wary of instability in the region, is now watching closely as these allegations threaten to spark a political crisis. But perhaps the most explosive part of Trump's address came when he launched into deeply personal, specific allegations of corruption that strike at the very heart of the Guyanese and Jamaican governments. He spoke of secret offshore accounts, shadowy financial transactions, and a network of loyalists who have allegedly helped to cover up years of illicit activity. Trump claimed that high-ranking officials have been under investigation for months, with evidence mounting of bribery, money laundering, and abuse of power. He called for immediate international intervention and demanded that the leaders of both countries be held accountable for their actions. As night fell and the news spread across the globe, the people of Guyana and Jamaica were left reeling, unsure of what the future holds. The world now waits to see how these governments will respond to Trump's explosive allegations, and whether justice will finally be served in the wake of these unprecedented revelations. At the heart of this explosive controversy lies a set of grave allegations, accusations that have sent shockwaves through both the political and business communities of Guyana and Jamaica. According to the whistleblower, a high-ranking official with access to sensitive information, both national leaders are implicated in a far-reaching bribery scheme. The core of his accusation is that these leaders have accepted colossal personal bribes, cleverly disguised as consulting fees and campaign donations, from a powerful foreign adversary. The alleged purpose? To secure their cooperation in signing over exclusive rights to their nation's most valuable and strategic resources. These bribes, the whistleblower claims, were not simple cash handouts. Instead, they were meticulously laundered through a complex web of offshore accounts, shell companies, and intermediaries, making the money trail difficult to trace. The sums involved are staggering, amounts that could sway elections, influence policy decisions, and alter the course of entire economies. The whistleblower further alleges that these transactions were orchestrated over several years, involving secret meetings in luxury hotels, encrypted communications, and a network of trusted insiders who facilitated the deals. The foreign adversary, whose identity remains officially undisclosed but is widely speculated to be a major global power with vested interests in the region, is said to have targeted these leaders precisely because of their control over critical national assets. The implications of these allegations are profound, raising urgent questions about the integrity of the highest offices in both countries, the vulnerability of democratic institutions, and the true cost of resource exploitation in the modern era. In Guyana, the focus of the alleged corruption centers on the country's rapidly expanding oil sector. Once considered a relatively modest player in the global energy market, Guyana has, in recent years, discovered vast offshore oil reserves that have the potential to transform its economy. These oil fields, stretching across the Atlantic seabed, are now among the most coveted in the world, attracting the attention of multinational corporations and foreign governments alike. The whistleblower claims that, in exchange for bribes, Guyana's leadership agreed to sign over exclusive exploration and extraction rights to a foreign entity, bypassing competitive bidding processes and ignoring environmental and social concerns. This deal, if true, would not only enrich a select few, but could also lock the nation into decades-long contracts that favor foreign interests over local development. The alleged arrangement has sparked outrage among citizens, who fear that the country's newfound wealth may be siphoned off by corrupt officials and foreign profiteers, rather than being invested in public services, infrastructure, and sustainable growth. Meanwhile, in Jamaica, the allegations revolve around the country's rich deposits of rare earth minerals, resources that are essential for the production of high-tech electronics, renewable energy technologies, and advanced military equipment. The whistleblower asserts that Jamaican officials, motivated by personal gain, have granted strategic mining rights to the same foreign adversary, again in exchange for substantial bribes. These rights reportedly allow the foreign entity to extract and export rare earth minerals with minimal oversight, raising concerns about environmental degradation, loss of national sovereignty, and the long-term economic impact on local communities. The deals, shrouded in secrecy, have fueled suspicions of backroom negotiations and a lack of transparency in government decision-making. As the story unfolds, both nations now face mounting pressure from civil society groups, investigative journalists, and international watchdogs to launch independent inquiries, hold those responsible accountable, and ensure that their country's natural wealth benefits the people, not just a privileged few. In a stunning escalation of his claims, Trump went further, asserting that this foreign power, long suspected of meddling in global affairs, now possesses what is known in intelligence circles as kompromat. The term, derived from the Russian word for compromising material, refers to sensitive, often damaging information that can be used to manipulate or control individuals in positions of power. According to Trump, this kompromat is not just a vague threat or rumor, but a concrete arsenal of evidence that directly implicates both leaders at the highest levels of government. The implication is chilling. These leaders, once thought to be acting in the best interests of their nations, may now be subject to the will of a foreign adversary, their autonomy compromised by secrets they desperately wish to keep hidden. The nature of this kompromat, Trump alleges, is particularly damning. It includes detailed evidence of hidden offshore accounts, secret bank holdings in far-flung jurisdictions known for their financial secrecy. These accounts, he claims, are used to conceal vast sums of money, the origins of which are murky at best. Alongside these accounts are records of illicit financial transactions, wire transfers routed through shell companies, cash payments exchanged in shadowy backrooms, and investments in luxury assets like yachts and private islands. The paper trail, if it exists, as described, would not only expose the leaders to criminal prosecution, but also provide a powerful tool for blackmail. The suggestion is that these financial secrets are the linchpin of the foreign powers' leverage, giving them the means to dictate terms and demand compliance. The consequences of such kompromat, if real, are profound. Trump contends that with this material in hand, the foreign power has effectively turned these leaders into puppets, figures who appear to hold authority, but whose actions are dictated by unseen hands. The metaphor of puppet strings is apt. Every decision, every public statement, every policy shift could be the result of coercion rather than genuine conviction. This scenario, Trump warns, is not just a matter of personal embarrassment or political scandal. It represents a direct threat to national sovereignty and the security of the United States. Policies that seem inexplicable or contrary to national interests may, in fact, be the product of foreign manipulation, designed to weaken the country from within. The specter of compromised leadership raises urgent questions about trust, loyalty, and the true sources of power in government. As the public and the media grapple with these explosive allegations, the line between conspiracy and reality grows ever more blurred, leaving the nation to wonder, who is really pulling the strings? The truth that is out paints a picture of two nations being stripped of their sovereignty not by invasion, but by the compromised judgment of their highest officials, a revelation that forces a complete reassessment of their leadership and alliances. To navigate this complex and ever-changing landscape of shocking political exposures and high-level corruption, you need the most current information. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our essential guides and updates.